I'm excited to hear from Jonathan Gannon, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Let's listen to what he had to say following their 1-point loss to the Seahawks.
Good football game versus a good football team. They made a couple more plays than we did to win the game. I thought the first half, we moved it pretty well. We needed to score more points there. Second half, put some points on the board. Defense played pretty good there. Gave up the touchdown at the end there, 2-point play, got in position, but win as a team, lose as a team. I told them in there I'm proud of those guys. They fought all year, went through a lot of adversity, and good things are on the horizon. And I told them too. I said I've never been more enthused going to an off-season in my life, so they're ready to come with me. Honestly, not much, truthfully. Obviously I feel for the locker room because you want to get a W there, but we didn't do enough to give ourselves another opportunity moving forward, and the blueprint will be very clear for us how to do that, and that's what we'll lay out for them. It was fantastic. I think the first time he's done that, and he missed 4 games. Guys, you guys know how I feel about the guy. I mean, true warrior, true pro. I mean, can't say enough good things about James. Put the team on his back, him and one, and made it happen. But, like I said, we just had to make a few more plays that they made.
A very somber yet sincere Jonathan Gannon that I think, is feeling the emotions of a lot of us. Like, we're immensely proud of this team, and I believe him. Good things are on the horizon. How can you not be enthused about this team, but at the same time trying to digest, blowing a game that you had in the final minutes, and your kicker, who's been money, who probably should have been a Pro Bowler, misses 2 kicks. I mean, that was the difference.
Yeah, and it is like, you can see, you can't really see much. He doesn't give you much emotion in this thing, but by the way he talks, he's excited for this offseason just as much as the fans and the rest of us are excited to see what comes out of this. I mean, like you said, Seahawks made a few more plays today than the Cardinals did, but as a whole, I think they played a great football game. Offensively, they came out, like you said, Connor and Kyler put this team on their back today and showed that this is a winning football program when you get all the pieces.
Do you feel like this team right now, that momentum is a real thing? Like, you were a part of some teams back in 2013, 2014 that took momentum, I think, into the subsequent seasons, 2014, 2015, and then like in 2016, that team underachieved, and it cost them the following year. Like, do you believe in momentum at the end of the season?
Agreed. The 2013 season was my first year here. I came in halfway through the season, and we finished that season 10-6. We missed the playoffs because we needed a loss we needed the Buccaneers to beat somebody or something like that.
Yeah.
And they didn't. So we missed the playoffs. But we go into 2014, and we turned that into an 11-5 season or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Which was close to the most wins they'd had in franchise history.
Yep.
And then you lose in the wild card, and you backdoor it in 2015 and go to an NFC Championship, finishing 13-3. So I think momentum is key. We were able at that time to bring most of our key pieces back. Right? We had Fitz in line. We had Michael Floyd in line. We got running backs. We brought in CJ in 2K. We brought in Chris Johnson, who was a huge thing. And when he went down, David Johnson blew up. We had all the pieces. We had defense. We had a crazy defensive line. We had a hell of a secondary, if you want to put it, with Gerard Powers, Patrick Peterson, Rashad Johnson, Tyrann Mathieu, Tyvon Branch. We had all the keys. So I think momentum is huge. And the way the Cardinals finished the season this year was with positive momentum, especially offensively. You started to see what can happen when this offense starts to click. So I think going into next season, the momentum that they were able to put together to finish, I think it carries over, and it does. In my mind, it does, because we proved it for 4 years in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Cardinals definitely have momentum and mojo. I think Gannon himself, Kyler Murray, they proved everybody wrong. I think that's what this season was about, frankly. It's Kyler Murray coming back off his ACL. Is he still franchise quarterback? Check. Is Jonathan Gannon the real deal? Check. Those are the 2 biggest things. Everything else is window dressing, and I'm not undermining any of these other players on the roster. GM, head coach, quarterback. That's what the infrastructure needs to be to have sustained success in the NFL. And Monty Ossenford had a nice offseason, more work, obviously a lot of work to be done this offseason. Jonathan Gannon was deemed a one-and-done coach by Pro Football Focus. Thought the Cardinals were just going to tank this year, fire Gannon at the end of the year. Well, that was incorrect. There were people like Mike Florio and Michael Lombardi saying Kyler Murray was going to sit all year. That was incorrect. I think the biggest outcome of this season was over certainly these last 8 games, but in Gannon's retrospect, 17 weeks, that you proved these people wrong, and you proved internally to the Valley, I think to most people, that you have the battery to succeed long term. You have the battery to succeed, I think, in this division, certainly. You give them a fighting chance with some significant upgrades of personnel, and Kyler Murray a full offseason. Like Kyler Murray's statistics this year, I think he's going to have like 13 touchdowns to 5 picks, 13 total touchdowns to 5 picks. He's going to have a passer rating that's almost 90. And if you project that out over the course of a 17-game season, like it's high, like 30 total touchdowns. I think, the NFL lead for touchdowns this year was Josh Allen, but like passing touchdowns was right around, 30, 35. Kyler Murray can be a franchise top 10 quarterback if you support him this offseason, and they will. And it's the right move. We had talked about it for months on end. The quickest way to viability in the postseason and to be in the mix, like all these teams want to be in next weekend, is to have Kyler Murray. If you, for whatever reason, opted to move on from Kyler Murray and it didn't work out, you were setting yourself back. What we saw in Houston, that's an outlier with C.J. Stroud and company. Usually it looks like, especially for the Arizona Cardinals, what it looked like for Bryce Young, what it looked like for Anthony Richardson going down. I remember when Matt Leinart as a rookie broke his collarbone. It was maybe a second year. But the point, is withstanding, it usually looks like Josh Rosen. So I think people can call it safe. I call it smart. Smart because the Valley, Cardinal football fans, they deserve postseason football. Nobody can project, the Cardinals are going to do X, Y, and Z with Drake May or Jaden Daniels or whomever. We know Kyler Murray, if you get 17 games from K1, you're going to be in the mix to make the playoffs. And for a franchise that has, I can count them on both hands how many postseason bursts historically in this history of this franchise, I think you take that as a Cardinal fan.